So yeah, it's been a while. Before I start the video, I just want to apologize for not uploading for like a whole month, but the reason is that I spent all of December basically worrying about the finals for school, and after that I just kind of wanted to take a break from everything, hang out with family and friends and stuff. But I'm back now, and I just wanted to say that I'm not perfect, and I might not hit every upload date, but just know that I don't plan to fully quit anytime soon. I love all the support you guys give me, and I'm really lucky to have such a nice starting supporting base. So I really mean it when I say thank you. Anyways, besides that, happy belated New Year. Do you guys have any changes, any resolutions? If you do, I'd love to hear them in the comments. I'll try my best to respond to them, so feel free to do so. And with all that being said, let's start the video. Alright, so a question I've gotten a couple of times is, how do I make my physical cards? Well, in this video, I'll show you my current process of how I make them. And just remember, my methods are always changing, and this video is just how I currently make these cards. But with that being said, this is how I do it. So to start, what I need to do is open up Google Slides. This is what I usually do to get everything done, which is a bit different from what other homemade TCGs use. I use Google Slides because I find it easier to use in place of something like Photoshop. Before printing my cards, I first need to make a digital version of them. If you want to make cards the way I do, you could follow along, but if I'm not clear at some points, feel free to ask questions in the comment section. I find it easier to make a template so that I can make consistent looking cards. I also have designated textures for the cards to make them stand out a bit more instead of being just a solid color. However, the decision is up to you, so feel free to do as you wish. It's also important to note that you will need two different slide documents, which is what I do. On the first document, that's where I make the cards, and the second one is where I put them on a sheet to print them out. Going more into detail, for the digital cards document, I use a page setup 18.9 by 26.4 inches. To get that, you have to click on File and then Page Setup, then hit Custom, and it should let you put in the custom setup. This way, your cards can be more in proportion to other TCGs like Pokemon. Once you have your design, download it from File and then click PNG to get the image downloaded. Next, bring your image into the other slide document. To set up this slide document, use the page setup 20 by 16 inches. This will be in proportion of a standard printer paper size. Then what you want to do is upload your card design that you downloaded from the previous slide document. This is where it gets tricky because not every printer prints the same. You might have to experiment with it to get exactly the right size you want. But in my case, what works for my printer is setting my card to 4.58 by 6.4 on my printing document. Like I said before, not all printers are the same, so you may or may not struggle on this part, but it's always good to find what's best for your homemade TCG. Anyways, once I set my card format to the previously set dimensions, I turn it 90 degrees counterclockwise, then I spread a few of them out evenly so that there are 9 spaced out cards. This step may not be necessary for some people, and it's totally okay to skip this part, but when making cards I like to add card backs to them, just to make them a bit more professional. To do that, just make a copy of the current slide, then manually place all the images to designs of the backs of your cards. Now it's finally time to go to the printer. Once you've loaded up your paper, in which case I use cardstock. Don't actually ask which kind though, because I don't really know myself. Sorry, but anyways, once that's done, just print out both the front and the back side separately on 2 different pieces of paper. Again, the back is optional, so you can skip that step. Once everything's printed out, if you don't want card backs, this is basically it for you making your cards. Just cut them out and then you are good to go. But if you want the steps on applying the backs of the cards, this is how to do that. First, you want to cut off the edges of the paper on both sheets of paper so that it looks like this. By the way, I did use a tool, which is this. It's like a paper cutter. It works pretty good and, it gets the job done a lot faster than by hand. Next, which this step can get a bit messy, but you want to put glue all over one of the back sides of the papers. I usually put the glue on the back of the card back printed side, then just evenly put the front side onto the back side, and make sure it's the right way up. This step is the hardest because sometimes I struggle with placing the two sides together, but it'll eventually work out. After you've placed both sides together, get a large heavy book or something with 2 flat sides to act as a press to press both papers together. This is to ensure that it doesn't bend as it dries. You also have to put a heavy object on top to make sure of that. After about 30 minutes of waiting for your glue to dry, take it out and cut each of your cards. If you don't have rounded corner cards, then you're done. But if you do, you can cut them out with a curved paper cutter, which I don't actually have. Or you can cut them out manually with scissors. Then, your homemade cards are finished. Depending on how much effort you put into making your cards can also vary the durability. Less glue, or depending on which type of glue you use, can also make the cards stronger to bond them together. I have had issues in the past of cards coming apart because I probably didn't apply enough glue to them. That is now why I use this monstrosity I used. Yup, 4 Elmer's glue sticks taped together. Remember that I myself am still learning alongside you guys, and I will also be improving. So maybe one day I'll make a revamped version of the process of how to make better cards. It'll probably be easier for you guys as well. With all that being said, I think it's time to move on to the end card. Hello again. I know it's been a while, but I do plan to upload more since I'm back. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you wish to see more content like this, feel free to browse my channel, or, even consider subscribing. That will help me grow my channel and reach out to further audiences. But with that being said, I've got an announcement to make. I finally set up the fan art email account. Now, if you want to, you can send fan art or any type of artwork, and I'll be happy to display it in my end cards. Also, I prefer if you keep them family friendly because I kinda don't want to be demonetized. But besides that, there's not really a restriction. Fan art, any art, I'll be happy to display. So, go ahead and you can send it to this email. Thank you again for watching this video, and have a great rest of your day, or night. Anyways, see you in the next one.